Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're returning to Kingdom Death Monster. We are doing the Dreamkeeper campaign. We are returning from our Smog Singers battle. The last time we met our characters, we had defeated them, we got some resources, and we're returning back to the settlement. The ones that were in our hunt, I have given all hunt XP to. We had Lelia with us. She has gained 1 hunt XP and the rest are up to 3 now. And we're not going to be gaining any new philosophies at this point or any advancements into our philosophies. For all of them need a little bit more hunt XP, and in order to gain a philosophy we have to reach our first hunt XP milestone, and we haven't done that yet with any of our new characters, so we're not going to be doing that. But the rest of this stuff is all set to go for our return to our settlement, which is right here. We have Seander. This is going to be super cool. I'm pumped to get back to this game. Let's dig into it and see what our characters do during the settlement and during the hunt as well. And if you're excited to do that, then I need you to meet me at the table. I have kept all of our gear grids exactly how they are because there could be a chance we don't go back to the settlement. Sometimes things happen, you never know. So I want to make sure we still had everybody exactly how we are, but we're going to move straight through here. We're going to set up the settlement, which I've already done. Our survivors have returned, and we're going to gain our 4 endeavors. And once we do all that, because we have 4 people returning, actually we have 5. I forgot that we actually have our scout. Our scout now is considered a member of the group. So we have 5 endeavors as we move into the settlement phase. We're going to move to update timeline. Let's go check out our sheet of paper that has to do with our settlement. Before we look at the timeline, I just want to make sure everybody is all caught up here. We have our quarries, our Smog Singers, and our Crimson Crocodile, and we have our first child is born. We took on this principle of life. And when we did that, we chose survival of the fittest. Here's the innovations we have so far. We do have a few things in our reserve, a couple hollow stones and a gaseous belly. These are the settlement locations we have already been able to gain a hold of. We have the Skinnery, Bonesmith, Keeper of Dreams, Crimson Crocodile, and we just recently got the Chronosaurium. I probably said that totally wrong. I apologize. The survivors we have out here are Rand, Nynaeve, Egwene, Perrin, Lelia, Elaine, and Matt. I haven't updated the hunt XP on these characters yet. I will do that momentarily. Most of them have 2 to 3 and some, but she only has 1. But we're going to do that. We do have a 12 population size. We haven't lost anybody yet. Super good. On the back page here, we do have 3 collective cognition. We were able to defeat the Smog Singer, so we gained 1 there. Now we don't get anything new until we get to the 5th one. In order to do that, we have to technically either defeat a Nemesis or some level 2 monster of some kind, either Crimson Crocodile or Smog Singers. I don't think that's going to happen for a little while, but I think once we take care of a Nemesis, we'll start moving up this, which will be pretty sweet, because I think we'll get some really awesome, neat things. Because remember, the more you're able to get collective cognition, the more cool things unlock. That's a really neat concept, because it really makes you want to try to strive for trying to take on some of these harder monsters. We do have only 2 philosophies open because we don't know some of the other philosophies. We have survivalism and dreamism. Here are all the different knowledges we have. We have darkness, despair, fear, hunger, tenacity, desperate strike, strength training, accuracy training, and guardian, all at different levels based on how well we've been doing in some of the hunts or other things that have caused these to go up. Now let's move to the timeline. We're going to mark in our next box here, moving into Lantern Year 3. We're going to be doing Missing Statue, but that's after we do a settlement event. Here are all the different settlement events. We're going to give them a good old truffle shuffle here, and we're going to draw one at random. Hopefully nothing too bad is going to befall our survivors. They just got back. Hopefully nothing really bad. We're going to take this one right there. We're going to see what happens to our survivors. We have gotten ourselves nickname. Every returning survivor gets a nickname. Each rolls a d10 on all 3 tables below. Add the nicknames to the survivor's current name between their first and surname. A survivor may only be nicknamed once a lifetime. Oh my gosh. you kidding me? I got to nickname my guys already. Oh, and it does have an extra thing down here. If I have pictographs, I can rename them. I can spend an organ to re-roll. Gain a nickname roll on the tables above, or you may change your first name. Okay, well, oh boy. Okay, we have to nickname, was it all of the returning survivors? Every returning survivor. That's 4 different, or 5. That's 5. We've got the scout here as well. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember any of these. Okay, so here's the deal. This is super thematic. I think it's fantastic, but I don't know how I'm not going to be able to fit any of that onto these papers here. So unless the ones I'm going to remember is if they get a 1 or a 10, we'll put those on there. Otherwise, we'll just kind of remember them in our heads. We'll remember them in our heads. That'll be the deal. So we're going to have Nynaeve go first. She's going to be the first one. She is going to gain herself the Dingle Fool of the Lion. That is her name. Now, none of those are going to give her any bonuses, but she's the Dingle Fool of the Lion. That's actually, I'm actually going to write that because that's amazing. So I lied. We are going to write them because this is absolutely awesome. Next, we got Perrin. Perrin is going to gain Dingle again. Oh, he also got Coward. So he can -1 permanent strength. That's terrible. Oh, but then he got a 10 here. Of the Phoenix, he gained permanent speed. So he get -1 strength, but 1 permanent speed. So we're going to give him -1 strength, which is just going to erase this. He's going to go to 0 strength, but he's going to gain +1 speed. +1 speed is amazing. So he's Dingle, that's for sure. We're going to write that down. Dingle, and then I'll write the rest of them down here as well. He is Dingle, Coward of the Phoenix. Let's see who our next survivor is. It's going to be Rand. Rand is next. We'll roll up his things here. He is the brainless, what is he? Brainless Fool of the Lantern. All right, we're going to write that Brainless Fool of the Lantern. We have a couple left. We have Eugene, and we have, who's the other person? I think it was Lelia that went with us. So let's do Lelia first. Lelia is going to go first. We got the Brainless again. Brainless Fool, no, Savior. Brainless Fool, Savior of the Lantern. Saviors always use this result. Okay, we don't have any saviors. There's a kind of character we can make that would be a savior. We don't have any of that. So this person's the Brainless Savior of the Lantern. 1 survivor left. That's going to be you, Gwen. Let's see what she is. Oh no, she is the foolish, permanent -1 accuracy, foolish savior of, oh no, of the darkness. Foolish savior of the darkness. And this has really crippled her. She's at -1 accuracy and -1 speed. So that was our hunt event. That was absolutely terrible. Now we have to go to our event called Missing Stone. The first thing we need to do is Baron needs to learn how to read, because it was missing statue, not missing stone. Resplendent statues contemplate the settlements from a distance. A space in the Colunda is suspiciously empty. So we're missing one of these, and that's an awesome picture there. It's really cool. We now have the Bone Eaters as part of the adventure. This is another awesome thing that was brought out in this particular Gambler's Chest thing. This is a whole group of enemies that you might fight along the way. This is really neat. It says the Bone Eaters hunt the survivors. I'm going to replace one of the random basic hunt cards with a Bone Eaters hunt event encounter level 1 in the hunt event deck. When the card is revealed during the hunt phase, a dangerous encounter with the Bone Eaters will commence, and we'll use the encounter rules from this book. We also have to nominate a pair of survivors. They wander the darkness in grief, searching for purpose. They are drawn towards glittering, shapely figures in the distance. They approach a lonely arcade of statues. The couple laces their clammy fingers together and presses on to examine. I'm going to nominate a male and female that have yet to be made, and if they survive this particular encounter or this examination here, we'll create character sheets for them. When we examine, we're going to have to roll a d10 and see what we get with these 2 people. We got Lantern 10! Oh, that's got to be super good! It says the survivors peek into the open space with locked hands trembling. White teeth and sclera beam through the darkness. They melt back into the void. Both survivors gain 1 courage. The resolute survivors return home and warn everyone of the new threat. We gain the partnership innovation. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. We got an innovation and these people all have +1 courage. Let's go make these survivors. We now have two new survivors, Moriane and Logain. These are the two people that are now got the partnership ability here that says I can spend 2 endeavors to nominate 2 survivors. They pair off and each gain the partner ability. A survivor may be nominated for partnership only once per lifetime. If you do have a partner, you have to put the partner's name in parentheses, and when you arrive, I gain survival up to the survival limit. Partners may only nominate each other for intimacy, and when a partner dies, the remaining partner gains a random disorder and loses this ability. So this is pretty good. It's to me, I think this is more one that would have came near the end, would have been a better place for it. I don't mind having it now at all. I think it's fantastic. These two are going to have the partnership ability. So I am going to put in parentheses, I'm going to put in the other person's name, and then they're going to be partners. Now, remember, I could use them for intimacy if I want to, but they have to be together. They can't do anything on their own, and I'll be able to gain up to our survival limit, which at the current number is 4. So if I ever go into battles and I need a lot of survival, having partners together is going to be a great way to do it. Having only a maximum of 4 survival right now isn't like the greatest number. So hopefully going forward, we can gain other innovations and things of that nature that will help us gain more in survival to make this a better innovation for us moving forward. I also have added our Bone Eaters level 1 to all of our hunt events. So we have these basic hunt events ready to go. I love the fact that this is kind of an evolving deck now. And as we go forward, I'm sure we're going to get more Bone Eater stuff and maybe even other things added to those hunt decks. This is super cool. We have our new survivors. We'll place them up there. We're done with our survivors return and we've updated our timeline. We're going to go up to update death count, which we don't have any. At this point, we're going to check milestones and story events. We don't have any that are going to affect us at this point. So we'll move into development, bringing with us all of our endeavors. If we had any point in our characters here where we would have hit our second mark or even any of the tally marks on any of our other sheets for our philosophies, this is where we would deal with those, but we don't have any for our characters at this point. So it's all about development. We're going to develop things, and let's see here. I think I've got some plans moving forward. 2 things we are for sure going to do is we are going to use the outskirts to grab a hollow stone. That gives us our 3rd hollow stone. I'm also going to spend 1 endeavor in order to innovate, and we're going to give up a organ, a hide, and also a monster bone. We're going to give up these 3 right here, the monster organ, the hide, and the bone. I kind of would like to save the pink flesh if we could, but we need to innovate in order to keep ourselves going. After we do that, we'll see what other things we want to get. Now, because we have, I think it's Symposium. Do we have Symposium? Yes. Because we have Symposium, I get to draw an additional 2 innovation cards from our deck and choose from. So we're going to give these a good old truffle shuffle here, and we're going to draw out 4 different innovations. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. And see what we got with that one. And let's see what we get. We have gotten ourselves the Nightmare Training. We have Face Painting, Inner Lantern. And we have Sculpture. What does Sculpture do? This one looks new. Let's see here. It says Sculpture. I can, for an endeavor, you bare your soul to create an inspirational statue, skip the next hunt, and lose a knowledge. It will be embroidered on the statue. Note that this is only a settlement. Note this on the settlement record sheet. A settlement can only ever have 1 inspirational statue. Always share this knowledge in addition to others at the forum. It costs 1 less lumina to gain this. Okay, so this almost seems very similar to, I think they had like a statue thing for fighting arts. I think it's very similar. Nightmare Training, Face Painting. No, we want Inner Lantern. This is amazing. I gain Surge. The settlement finds the light within all survivors gain the Surge survival action. Surge is absolutely fantastic. Once per round, spend 1 survival to gain a action. Use it immediately. And this is something that can happen inside of some of the activations of the enemy, which is fantastic. So we are going to grab Inner Lantern. That is the one we're going to gain. And we're going to be adding all the Inner Lantern consequences to the innovation deck. These are the 3 we'll be adding: Shrine, Scarification, and it looks like Character. So we're going to add those to our innovation deck and give it a truffle shuffle in case we have some reason to be drawing more this turn. I don't think how that's going to happen. Let's go through these and see if there's any that we can use any of our endeavors on, because we still have 3. The only one I have is Death Pact, where I have to give up a hide and an organ in order to gain the innovation pictograph, which would be kind of cool. But I have another plan. I always have a plan. I'm not sure if it's always the best plan, but it is a plan. So we've used these 3 resources to innovate. We can't do that anymore. What I want to do is I am going to build a few things. The first one I'm going to build is going to be off of this sheet right here. I did have a comment in the video that said, oh boy, you could do the Spear of Life. We should give that a shot. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Why not? I'm going to use the fluted bone, a whistle tooth, and also a hide in order to do that. So we're going to do the whistle tooth, the fluted bone, and a delicate hand. That is going to be my hide. And we are going to build the Spear of Life. It's right here. It's a weapon, melee spear, 2-handed. It has 2 speed, 6+, and has 4 strength, which is fantastic. It's not frail or anything. If I can activate the green here on the side, it says that when another survivor dies from bleeding tokens, I can roll a d10 on a 7+. Your dart saves them. They suffer -1 permanent evasion and remove up to 3 bleeding tokens. So that could be really good going forward. Now, I don't know if I'm able to connect the green. I don't think I have anything that has green on this side, unless I want to get like a fluted bone or something, or a spinning sword, or a peace dagger, or none of the peace dagger. Only the spinning sword is going to help on this thing. None of the armor helps, so that's not going to help at all. The other thing I want to use is I have a perfect bone and a whistle tooth, which is going to give me the hammer fluter. It's right here. It's a weapon, melee, club, instrument, and it is also noisy. It has a 2, 6, 3 as its stats, and it says the fluted Ballad of Perfection, 7. I can spend an action and archive 7 cards from the wound stack to perform. All survivors increase their perfect hit range by 1. And it can happen if I have a red and blue linked anywhere on my survivor grid. The whistle, this whistles while you swing. I gain +1 survival and +1 insanity when I attack. So this will be able to keep on giving me insanity and also giving me survival as I fight with it, as long as I have at least these 2 things linked anywhere on my gear grid. It doesn't have to be this particular one. Now on the flip side, this has to be the one because it has that puzzle piece. So it does mean that this has to be connected to something. With the other remaining, I'm going to use an organ. That's the last thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to use all 3 of my stone faces that I've got, the hollow stone, sorry. Then I am going to make this stone face cloak. It's going to give me 2 armor, which is going to be pretty sweet, to the head and body. And it says here, at the start of your activation, if you are not on terrain, you may hide. I can replace myself with the Hidden Faces terrain tile and place the scout miniature on this terrain card. That means it won't be targeted, I think is what it is. So I have to look at the tile and we move into the next hunt, or the next encounter, and we'll see how that all works. But I think it'll be really cool. I am going to keep the fluted severed head and the broken lantern, and we're going to probably add that to our record sheet once we get to that part of the settlement. But that is what I did with all of my resources. Sadly, I don't have another one of those hides in order to make the Death Pact, because I do have one more organ. I have one of these in our settlement right now. So there we go. That's all we're going to do with our development. We're going to move on to prepare departing survivors. I did lie. I forgot about the other 3 endeavors I have. I'm going to use 2 to build stone noses, and I have 1 left. And I could augur, but remember, I did the principle of find survival of the fittest. So in theory, it's a harder thing for me to do if I'm trying to gain more people. And I have 12. I think we're doing okay. So I am going to forego. No, who am I kidding? I'm going to roll a die. We're going to try to augur. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got a 2. So I have to discard a resource from our settlement and gain myself 1 understanding. And I forgot I should also nominate somebody to do this. I should have nominated somebody to augur. I totally forgot about that. All right, we're just going to nominate somebody in my little group of people here. I would have nominated somebody like Perrin, because that way he would have got his 3rd, so we can go to the understanding and gain some insight. We have seen insight before. I did it during the settlement phase, so this could almost just all be for naught. I got a 9. Oh, I'm going to gain 1 permanent accuracy. I also gained the Tinkerer ability. When you are returning survivor, you gain +1 endeavor to the settlement phase. The first survivor we're going to talk about is Rand. Rand is going to come, even though he's still got that 4 movement, but he does the finger darts, and it's the only thing I own that is actually going to connect the Spear of Life. So we're gonna rock the Spear of Life and see how it goes, and we're going to be able to gain some survival and sanity. Everybody's going to gain some stone noses, so long since I got them all, and so that's what Rand is going to do. Every person that is leaving is going to gain 1 survival based on all of our innovations. So he starts at 2 survival. When he reaches there, he'll have an extra survival and an extra insanity once he gets there. And I haven't decided we're going to hunt yet. I think we're going to hunt the Smog Singers again, because I don't feel I did them as much justice as I did the Crocodile. The Crimson Crocodile was a long and fun fight. The Smog Singers, we didn't see a lot of them. We just basically walked in, and I think we did very well against them. So let's go and fight them again and see what happens this time. Hopefully we get some awesome resources. And I also looked at their place that you can use all the different resources you get from, their location, and it seems like it's got some really cool things. I want to get a couple of them. So we're going to go and fight them yet again. So this is Rand. He is all set to go. Next we have Elaine. She's going to grab the Rawhide set here, and she's going to start using the Hammer Fluter because we do have the blue and red connected, so this is going to activate. She's going to get all 4 survival, 1 because of the innovations, and she also gains some from the gear she has as well. And on top of that, since she has all the gear, she's going to gain 1 to all hit locations, so these will all be a 2 when we enter into the hunt phase and go into the encounter. Perrin is going to, I believe this was what Perrin used last time. He's not changing much. Actually, he's changing absolutely not at all. He does get the extra survival here, so he is at max survival moving into the next hunt and encounter. Our last survivor going into the hunt and encounter is going to be Lelia. She's just going to be bringing that blood glass dagger, and she has a stone nose. She has max survival. She had 3. She gets 1 for departing based on our innovations. Egwene's going to be our scout. I stole the founding stone from Elaine, who has the hammer. She doesn't need this, as she's got other things she can fight with. So she's grabbed the founding stone. Max survival, -1 action, -1 speed. So that's why I thought it'd be great to have this person as the scout. On top of that, she has fear 2. When the monster targets her, I can spend a survival to gain the flee brain trauma, which would probably help her get away. I've placed all our brave survivors right here, and we have just 1 of the Smog Singers, which is enough. We're going to give our Smog Singer Hunt event deck here a Truffle Shuffle, and we'll get it all set to go. We'll put a couple of them down. I'll put that one there, and that one there. They're going to go on all the E squares, which are those right there. Next, we're going to get our generic hunts. Remember, there's a few extra little hunt cards in here, and I'm not sure where they're going to be. It'll be pretty sweet to just see one now and then. Let's use a Truffle Shuffle, just like that. We'll put a couple down, and one is going to go underneath these Smog Singers. If we're able to get him to move, then this will be able to be seen. We'll take Rand, I guess. Rand is going to go first, just because I don't know what this is, and actually it doesn't really matter. We found ourselves a random hunt event. So we're going to roll our die and see what we get. We have gotten ourselves an 80, and what number? 88. Let's reference the book. The Sword and the Statue. A one-eyed statue, twice as tall as any man, sits before a great anvil with a hammer in each of its 6 hands. Transfixed, the survivors watch the statue beat a red-hot sword that lies across the anvil. Each survivor, starting with the event revealer and proceeding clockwise, may make one attempt to grab the sword from the anvil. If they do, they gain +1 courage, roll a d10, and add their hunt XP to the roll. I'm choosing no one, basically because if you look at this table right here, everything on there says bad, bad, dead, dead, bad, bad, dead. Everywhere, except for 14 pretty much. I get the Mirizama. I don't have any way at all, with the amount of hunt experience I have with my characters, to even roll a 14+. So most likely I'm just going to end up losing arms. So none of my survivors are going to do this. Sorry. If we would have had more experience, maybe I'd give it a try. With that one complete, we'll move on to our next set of survivors. Here we've already used Rand. I'm just going to leave him 1 behind so we know that. At this point, I'm going to use Perrin. Perrin is going to take on the next event. It is one of the Smog Singers events. We have found the Melodic Rainbow. Colors shimmer in the air, rippling in time with haunting melodies. If any survivor has an instrument in their gear grid, the survivors join the chorus. Otherwise, they all gaze in wonder. If any survivor has an instrument in their gear grid. I think I do have an instrument in a gear grid. Yes, I do. I have that Hammer Fluter. It is an instrument. So at this point, we can do the join the chorus. It says here, your instrument plays a robust notes, each heralding a new sparkle of color. The survivors are moved to tears, each gain +2 survival. So that means Rand is going to gain max survival, but everybody else already has max survival, so nothing else happens. That's the end of that one. That actually was really good. Remind me to always bring musical gear when I come on this event, this hunt. We're going to put him in the back because he's already done a hunt event. You can never do more than one until everybody has done one. We have the 2 girls left. We're going to start with Elaine. Elaine is going to go next. She's the one that had the flute. She's in the leather gear here with her arm that falls off. We got to make sure we get that back on there. Boom, just like that. Oh, nope, it still fell off. Well, these are magnetic, so sadly the magnets aren't the greatest to hold them on, but there we go, just like that, it's on. Okay, we're going to grab our next hunt event and see what we have found. Toenail. It is a giant toenail juts out of the ground. Its gray contours disappearing into the darkness above. One side is lined with colorful walls of gently wavering fungus. Nominate a survivor and roll a d10. Oh my gosh, should I just have her do it? I don't see why not. After all, it is her event. Let's roll a d10 and see what happens to her. She got a lantern 10. As you approach, the fungus crawls. Oh, let's see what this says. As you approach, the fungus crawls up the side of the toenail, out of reach. You scavenge the broken piece of the toenail. You gain 1 monster bone. Okay, that's fantastic. We're on a roll here. I'm going to gain a monster bone from the resource deck. Now, sadly, it's not a perfect bone, but we'll still take it. That is, we've already got spoils here, and that's going to be the end for her. She's done her thing, which means it'll now be her turn. She's going to walk in and start the combat with the Smaug Singers, which of course we'll be doing in our next video. We'll be taking on the Smaug Singers yet again. I apologize. I should have let the Patreon supporters choose who we fought this time. That's normally what I do for these types of games. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the settlement phase and the hunt phase for Kingdom Death Monster. We of course are doing the Dream Keepers campaign. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out for Kingdom Death Monster. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're interested in supporting the channel, my Patreon is located in the description of this video. Those people that have already joined the Patreon are located here on the screen. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. It means the world to me. Now, of course, like I said earlier, those that join the Patreon do get some perks. First off, they will be able to watch any playthrough videos I do a day or two ahead of time without commercial interruptions. On top of that, in games like this, I would let them normally pick the monsters we might be fighting or gear we may be deciding on what to build, because I like to have my Patreons be able to have a hand in how the game progresses forward. On top of that, they can help me decide what kind of games we play, and also some things we also might do is we might be able to help me decide what we might paint coming forward in some of our next videos. Also, if you're interested in seeing any live videos with Colin and myself, we do try to do a live playthrough every Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever time works for us. Please check out the live tab of the channel to find all the live stuff that Colin and I have already done together. And if you're interested in seeing how I was able to paint up the Smaug Singers, that is also done. I have a live painting video of that. You can check that out as well. At least I think I might have a video. I might not have done a video on the Smaug Singers, but we will be doing some Kingdom Death Monster painting videos. I know I did the crocodile. I know that. So if you're interested in seeing how the Crimson Crocodile came to be, we did do a video on that one live. You can always join us in the chat during our live painting videos. It's super fun. So there you have it, the settlement phase and our hunt phase, moving into Lantern Year 3, taking on the Smaug Singers. Thank you again so much for watching. And if you're excited to see if we can take down the Smaug Singers, or of course anything else that Colin and I have coming up, then I need you to meet me at the table.